It's a time for more packages from China. Let's go. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video, this is a very expensive, let's say IPS 16-bit Mega Drive or Genesis portable that has the option to play as a game console, but also as a handheld. I've picked it up some time ago and I bought it because I just wanted to see, is it really worth it? I've been checking out all kinds of portable ways to play some Sega, but the main problem is most of the time emulation performance or a lot of features that we're missing out. Think about, let's say, the aspect ratio and all the other craziness. What I love about these things is that we can actually use original games. To have like a small collection you want to start collecting, this can be a very interesting way to play. So it does come most of the time with a built-in battery, and what I think is very convenient that these 18650 batteries can be upgraded to maybe a little bit bigger one, but also you can find them, replace them if they are having any issues. I think it's a very positive thing about it. Playing original games, and of course have the option to just experience the old school days. On-off switch over here, input for the micro USB for charging, then we're having the HDMI and the AV out, so this thing can actually do both of them. And at the bottom we're finding all kinds of cool stuff. Here you can have a very nice overview of, let's say, the options. So volume control, headphone jack out, controller port 1 and 2, and we do have the option to switch for the, I think for the normal controls at the front, and having the option for both of the joysticks. So we're having the aspect ratio over here, and over here we do have ourselves like the O and the J, meaning that we have two different regions. So I do wonder if you can actually play also PAL on this. The downside is that we're only having a very tiny speaker, no stereo sound. So turning it on, you can see over here the LED turning on. So booting up, no, it doesn't do anything. And the reason I wanted to test this because normally we have some of these, let's say, plug and play devices come with built-in games. So reset, mode button, start, and the 6-button configuration. However, the 6-button, you can actually see that they're like quite different than the original controller. They're like feeling okay, a little bit too tiny if you ask me. And then of course the D-pad. The D-pad is not a floating D-pad that we have seen with, let's say, devices like Embernic Arc or the original controllers. So it does have like a nice travel to it, a little bit of too much resistance, and have like a very cheap clicky feel. So when it comes to controls itself, not like really surprised like that it's going to be super like great. So let's check it out. We're having over here the box with some more goodies, and in here we're finding the controllers for the money we're paying for. We're actually going to be having a controller, and yeah, how is this going to be? What is interesting but also weird that a lot of stuff is included but not the AV out cable. So okay, so that is a little bit of a downside. So but when it comes to the control, like it does have like the floating D-pad configuration, but man oh man, what a really cheap piece of crap this is. We have like the like I think these slow buttons are such a complete BS. Mode button, start. So the controller quality for paying a lot of money for a device like this are absolutely horrible. And let's give you an example. If you're having, like, say, a retrobit, like basically a retrobit. So if you're having the controller, you're going to be looking at them. You can see that this thing is way smaller, and this is just premium feel. This is just how you want to have it, and this is just pure freaking garbage. Starting off with the virtual racing game, the main problem is that this thing is actually just in a different region. So let's put it on Japan. Sometimes it does work when it comes to, let's say, a different region, but no, that doesn't do anything at all. That's a little bit of a downside. Oh. So pulling out original games, that goes quite okay. So let's plug in a game itself. So I do have the idea that the PCBs of the fake ones or like multi-cards are thicker than normal, and you can just feel it, like squeezing them in is okay. Alright, so let's move on to the volume test. Volume test is okay. I'm guessing I need to switch for different controls, as you can see over there. I'm going to be moving this freaking light out of the way. But so far everything seems to be working fine. So you can actually test it over here, Japan and TSC. So I'm guessing this thing doesn't support any PAL at all. So let's switch and let's reset, and let's see if there's going to be indication over here. Yeah, US and TSC. So we're only having US or NTSC overall support. There are no PAL game support at all. Okay, moving on to the games. So it has been set to the US version. Let's see if we're going to be having a problem. Not at all. So when it comes for playing games, the sound is not like it should be. But also when you're looking at the front, this is just a piece of plastic. So this is not like superb high quality. I would expect like at least a very nice, thick, let's say, piece of plastic when you're going to be paying that amount of money. The audio is off when it comes to that. The clicky cheap feel of the D-pad is such an annoying thing. Also moving around is not going to be a very pleasant experience. So the feel of the D-pad, but also when you're going to be looking into the inputs, this is not going to be the best game for playing these kind of titles. Well, yeah, it's absolutely great to see that we can actually play, let's say, the multi-game cartridges. So PAL is out of the question. Man, getting this out is absolutely a freaking nightmare. Switching to the flash card, I think if you can combine this is just a really cool, let's say, way to play. So what you're getting is actually having a $15 flash card. So pressing start, let's boot it up like that. And this way we can actually just play our games fairly easy. I just pressed start, so I'm just loading up, let's say, the cartridge loaded up game. But if you're going to be checking it out, let's say you want to just see, well, hey, I want to like reflash a game, it will take up some time. I did a separate video about the Mega Drive Flash Master. It's a very cheap flash card. Not the favorite flash card of mine, but for the money. So one other thing is great that I'm going to be having a showcase of the battery life over here. So this thing has absolutely an amazing support. Man, that on and off switch is really, oh man, getting these games out, oh boy. Another game I wanted to check out is this Mortal Kombat Trilogy. So I tried it on my FPGA Sega console and did have some like problems. So I wanted to see what happens if you're going to be loading this up into this particular model. And indeed it will give me the same kind of error. And I am guessing or my cartridge is broken now, or this game isn't like really supported by many. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing is broken. So let's try another bootleg game, or like a custom game actually. So like and let's boot this up. And here you can just see that actually works just fine. I do wonder what happens if we're going to be switching to the different region. We can just switch fairly easy aspect ratio here. Let's reset it. You can see like it went completely apeshit when it's just going to be switching when the game is turned on. And now we're getting the message that it's not supported for this kind of region. Okay, so let's reset it again. So when it comes to, let's say, different region, that part seems to be working just fine. But again, you are limited to the certain kind of, let's say, regions. We only have a US and Japan with this. But overall, if you're going to be playing some old school games, this is not going to be a problem at all. But how is it when you're going to be connecting this to a television itself? So this is actually a plug and play situation. If you're going to be plugging the system into your monitor, it can be just an, let's say, an HDMI monitor. I would recommend having speakers, otherwise you don't have any audio, because it always, like say, transmit the audio to the speaker itself, and it will mute one on the, let's say, the device itself. So it's not like saying having a device without monitors and we can just plug it in and use this. We cannot really switch between those options. Moving on to the controller part. So let's grab these crappy controllers. Let's plug it in and, you know, see if this is going to be anything good. So it doesn't do anything, so we need to switch between here. If I'm having it right. Do I have a brain fart? No. This should be working when it comes to that. Or did I use the wrong port? Because I wouldn't be the first time. No, this control port. Let's reset it. Let's see what's going to be happening. Normally it would not be a problem at all. So let's see if we can actually start up. Yep, we needed to reset the device itself. So when it comes to that audio, you can just hear that it sounds pretty awful. It's also a little bit of downside. You cannot, let's say, change it out on the device itself. So where this is a really cheap controller, the D-pad feels so much better compared when it comes to, let's say, the D-pad on the device. So where I hate these controllers' quality, they're still playable to a certain point. So when it comes to plugging this into like an HDMI device, I think this is absolutely one of the very cool features. And also you can switch out with the aspect ratio if you want to. So like say, when you're looking at, let's say, beside the emulation performance, this is a quite okay product.